welcome back to Best Bet Live. We are here at Best Bet Jacksonville, and this is event one of our Winter Series Open $560 no limit hold'em tournament. There were 740 entrants. We are down to our Elite 8. I'm going to go from seat 1 to seat 9, introducing the players and their chip stacks, and we'll get cards in the air. In seat 1, with 2.3 million chips, Steve Zang. In seat 2, with 1.665 million, Jonathan Strange. In seat 3, with 1.4. Hey guys, welcome back to Best Bet Live at Jacksonville. We have our final table of event number 1 in our Winter Series Open, our 560 No Limit Hold'em tournament. We are now going through player introductions. We just got through Tamer. Now we're heading to Dennis. Dennis, though, with the lion's share of chips in the tournament. Right next to him is Kirill, rocking that nice Las Vegas Raiders beanie. He's seen the final table a lot here in the past few years. Right next to him as well is I guess no stranger to final tables as well. That's James Brown. And then next to him, my good buddy, just a ball of energy, really good guy, Dickie Malone. He told me to shout out all of his friends from South Carolina, which I can do, and I am doing right now. So if you're from the South Carolina area, put your hands in the air and let me hear a go Dickie one time. And then next to him is Daniel, rocking those nice, cool shades. So 8 players remain. We had 740 total entrants. There are your payouts in the screen. First place is going to be taking home $63,223. That's a whole lot of money. With that being said, we'll go and get the cards in the air. We have Kiabe in the box. Jacob's going to be taking care of the action tracking, along with Tim Shufflebeam. It's been a long 3 days, guys, and we're down to the final 8. We appreciate all of you for hanging out with us. Enjoy the ride. It should be fun. Ryan's right next to me. Ryan, say what's up to these nice, kind people.
Yeah, what is up? How are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys enjoy what we have in store for you tonight for this final table. Again, as Adonis mentioned, over 700 entries into Event 1 of our Winter Series Open that we kicked off on Thursday. And, yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting to say the least. To have that many people enter the first event says this is going to be a pretty good series, to say the least.
Yeah, it's going to be a real fun series. We did get player introductions. We got a introduction there from myself, actually.
There you go.
Steve Zang in the 1 seat, and then Jonathan Strange in seat 2.
Any relation to Stephen Strange?
I mean, when I heard his last name was Strange, I just thought to myself, yo, like, that's an incredible last name.
It really is.
And best of luck to him. So a lot of cumulative tournament winnings on this table. I know Dickie has somewhere in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. James Brown told me or informed me, he said if he binks this tournament, his tournament winnings would go north of 400,000. So a lot of people at this table have been well experienced and well versed in not only tournament play but final table play.
Very
so
nice.
I think we'll see a lot of that tonight. But without any further ado, I know you people come here for the poker, so that's what we'll give you. Why not? Looks like you got James Brown. Yes, you heard me correctly. He made it 130,000 with Queen Jack. Dickie's going to make the call in the small blind. The blinds are 30 and 60,000. You can find that in the bottom right there at those beautiful Jaguar-themed graphics handled by Johnny Pham. Always got to give him a shout. That man worked hard. He's in the background. He's been putting in a lot of hours. He is the tournament director here at Best Bet Jacksonville, and he works hard. So shout out Johnny Pham.
Absolutely.
So Daniel is going to 3-bet it up to 350,000 chips with ace-6 suited. James Brown quickly regrets raising it up and is going to fold. And Dickie gives Daniel a look. Thinks about it a little bit more, sporting that very nice Best Bet Live hat. We do have merch. None for sale, but we do give it away via our streams. We stream weekly on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So, hey, if you can tune into our streams, we do giveaways a lot, and you could probably get your hat in the ring and try to win something. But he will fold to Daniel, so nice hand there from Daniel to start. Yeah. Tamer has been in these PLO streets for a very long time. He's a very accomplished PLO player, but that does not mean he is not also a very accomplished and talented no-limit hold'em player. And he's found himself on this final table tonight. He did previously work for the company, but he's going to be playing and trying to make some money for himself out here in this tournament field. Great guy, fun guy, and a Minnesota Vikings fan as myself. So you know I got to root for him. Also, really, really quick, I have to say this. I'm sorry. Ryan is a devout Cincinnati Bengals fan. So shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals for advancing to the Super Bowl for the first time in 31 years. That is my only football comment for the duration of this stream. And we're going to keep going. Okay, so I have to. Mr. Strange is going to make it 160K. James there getting really active here early is going to make it 300,000 with ace-9 offsuit. So he's looking to 3-bet it, and he's looking to be aggressive here early on. Like I said, he's been at plenty of final tables. He understands not only that, but that his play style is very aggressive. He likes to get the chips in, likes to build himself a chip stack, even though he came to the final table as the chip leader.
I was about to say, yeah, he was the chip leader heading into the final 8 here. Or we'd like to call it the Elite 8. Is that what we're calling it?
The Elite 8.
The Elite 8.
The Elite 8.
The Elite 8 of Event 1.
And looks like Stephen Strange. I understand his name is Jonathan, but I think it just fits so well.
I'm expecting him to use the time stone sometime here.
Please, he's going to need it. Stephen Strange is going to call the 3-bet from James Brown. I could never think that in my life I would have Jonathan Strange against James Brown. But we're going to go heads up to a flop.
What a timeline.
What a time to be alive. Looks like he's going to check to James, and now James is going to go over his options. And is going to check there. That range, well, I guess that flop hits hits Jonathan a lot better than it hits James.
Yeah, it does.
And he's going to pick up the nut flush draw on the turn. And now he's going to go ahead and put his foot on the gas and make it, looks like 425? 325? Yeah, 425. James here does also turn a pair, so he does have some showdown value with his kings and nines, but it's going to give it up. Lots of different hands beats him. Queen 10 suited, a king, a jack, any larger pocket pairs, queens, all that, but maybe he might have heard about it pre-flop if he did have those holdings. Basically, though, a lot of different hand beats him.
Yeah, and obviously with tournament play, every decision just means that much more.
Yeah, which I informed all the dealers, and I let people know all the time. That's the reason why I enjoy final tables from a dealing aspect so much, is because the game is so methodical.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, that does open the door to loose cannons, but I'd like to think if you made it this far, you can understand poker at a high level.
You should have an idea of what you're doing.
And I love how cerebral players can be when they're on final tables. That it might look like they're being funny, making a move, or being splashy, but that there's always a method to the madness, pretty much. And Dickey here is going to make the call. The dealer thought he said all in. Quickly.
Yeah, that was corrected very quickly.
Quickly corrected the dealer, said, I said call. This is a tournament, but it's a tournament for a lot of money. There's, I mean, probably north of $300,000 in that prize pool.
There was, definitely. We do have one all in, though. That's from Dr. Strange here.
Yeah, Dr. Strange is going to make it all in for about a little over $2 million, and yeah, that's just a little too much for both players' taste. They're going to make the fold.
Might have been a little too early to flash the Power Stone there.
Yeah, Jonathan's going to go ahead and take in those chips. I haven't too much seen any final table play from Jonathan, Daniel, and well, just Jonathan and Daniel. I haven't seen them on a final table before. I don't know if they're frequents of the room or if they're local players. But to make it to a final table, I'm pretty sure they're above, well, the average player when it comes to poker. But it's good to see them, and hopefully I can see more of them as this series continues. Also, welcome to all the viewers. I didn't quite introduce myself to you guys. My name is Adonis. I got Ryan here across from me. And obviously when these streams do happen, I love to involve the chat. I love to involve the people watching because it makes it fun.
Absolutely.
So please, guys, let me know where you're from. Let me know who you're rooting for. If you are family or friends of the players on the table, please make it known. and I'll give them a shout-out. But before I can finish that sentence, Dickey is going to be all in for the remainder of his chips with King, Queen of Spades. Strange has won this event before? Really? Sorry, I know my past tournament champion knowledge is a little murky, but if that's the case, shout out to him.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, Strange
Is Strange from Charleston also?
South Carolina's got some players, man.
Every time we run a final table, there's at least 2 to 3 people from Charleston, South Carolina on the table.
What is it in the waters of South Carolina when it comes to poker?
I had no idea. Hey, shout out to South Carolina. You guys are breeding some pretty good poker players.
Apparently.
So good luck to the South Carolina natives on the table. Good luck to everybody.
Born with pocket aces in their hands.
Yeah, I mean they run pretty well. Yeah, that's what it looks like, an invasion. All right, so Kiriel's going to go ahead and fold. James is going to make the fold. Dickey out of there.
Yeah, a lot of Charleston representation we're seeing in the chat.
Is the WPT going to be hosting any events at Best Bet in the near future? I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the tournament schedule, but I'd assume yes. But definitively, I do not know.
Yeah, as if I were to guess, maybe summer, but that's just me speculating. I don't know for sure. I don't think anyone really knows for sure right now, to be honest.
Daniel is repping North Carolina. Okay, so we got some Carolina natives in here.
All right.
And Dennis is not going to wait around. He's not going to play it too coy.
Nope.
And he's not looking for a lot of ways to play kings. There's only one way for him to play it, and that's to make it known to the table that he has a hand better than theirs.
Yes.
So he 3-bets Jonathan Strange up to $700K with pocket kings. Brenda Little West says from Macon, Georgia. Got plenty of family from Macon, Georgia. Hello to Georgia. Well, the Macon residents. Steve Hammond says still living just out of Atlanta. Welcome, Atlanta. Welcome, South Carolina. Welcome, North Carolina. I hope all of you are doing well. Yeah, I remember Kung Fu Kenny. Kung Fu Kenny made the final table and was also from South Carolina. So big shout out to you guys out there. Shout out to Seat 9, DK. You're his little cousin. Yeah, Daniel there with those nice cool shades and that Oakley's hat. He seems like he's a really cool guy. And I'm glad that his cousin's watching. So, Daniel, if you go back and look at this later, your cousin is shouting you out, and he calls you his poker idol. So that's pretty big. It's pretty big. So whatever you're doing it right, my friend. But, yeah, guys, we're going to be locked in here for the next few hours. Like I said, there's some big money up top, and these players are all trying to capture it. So, obviously, they're going to be having not fun, but they're definitely going to be playing serious. Steve here with Jack Deuce. Probably is not going to be calling for 60K. No need to make any moves here early. No need to be, what's the word, splashy. Not a time for that. Pulling for you, Dickey. Yeah, Dickey is a ball of fresh air. He was on a final table here in the past, I think last year, and I got to chop it up with him. He actually got down to heads up, I believe.
Oh, nice.
And he's just a funny guy. He's a good energy guy. You know, he's one of those guys, if you know him, you have nothing bad to say about him. I'm pretty sure anybody that knows him, hey, you guys are lucky to have a friend in Dickie Malone. That's pretty great. Kevin says, what place did Eddie finish? Actually, I can give you a little bit more information than that. James Brown actually knocked Eddie out. I believe it was King Jack against King 6. And I think Eddie was knocked out, I want to say somewhere south of 12th. He was knocked out when there were 2 tables remaining. So he was doing a pretty good job, and just ran into it. I think he 3-bet James, and James was on the button with King Jack. Called his all in. Went to a flop, and he couldn't improve. Is there a link for the rest of the tournament series? Absolutely, Ajax. This is what you're going to do. Actually, I'll have Ryan do it for you.
Yeah, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to send you the direct link in on our website that shows the entire schedule of what we have to offer for the Winter Series Open. There you are. There is all the tournaments that we have in store. Again, we started this on Thursday, January 27th, and we will be running this thing until February 7th when we have our final table for the main event, which is this coming weekend. So a lot of good stuff coming up for the week when it comes to the Winter Series Open.
I don't think it's right. I've seen you do it many times.
Payday in the Facebook chat says he has seat 1 winning it all. He's played with them yesterday. Yeah, Steve Zang is a local and has made final tables of many events. I've played with him before as well. Very, very good player, and is known for, well, just doing a great job in tournaments. And look at him here waking up to pocket queens in the under the gun 1 position. You know he's looking to raise. Blinds have increased to 40-80, so let's see the sizing he takes. So he's going to make it 255 to go. And it is going to fold around. Dennis folds the ace-6 of spades suited. Dickey quickly makes the call with my favorite hand.
There it is.
Jack-9 suited. Listen, man, I'm telling you, this hand is touched by an angel. When you play it, tournaments, cash, you have no choice but to take the good luck that comes with it. And Dickey flops the nut
What
straight.
about that? Wow.
Dickey flops
What
the
a
nut
flop.
straight against pocket queens. I promise you, I didn't know that was coming, and I tell you, it's just, that is the good luck of Jack-9.
Yeah, but I was going to say, just as you were praising it, there you get to see why. What a flop there.
And I think Steve's going to double Dickey up here. I just don't see any other way around it.
Oh, man, we may be
Yeah, and there's a bet there from Steve, and it looks like a pretty hefty one. 475,000.
Oh, boy.
Look at Dickey.
Yeah.
Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
With these stone cold nuts, for what it's worth, does have the backdoor spades working for him.
And, yeah, easy call there for Dickey.
Looks like Dickey's up to his talking ways. Turn them up. I want to hear.
We want to hear what
say.
he said.
I mean, when you flop the nuts, you're gonna have a lot to say. Okay, picks up spades on the turn. He does have the nuts and the check mark. He cannot lose.
And unfortunately, from here on out, Steve's going to be drawn dead.
Exercise my option. Check.
He says he's going to exercise his option to check, and Steve goes all in and he snap calls.
No.
Steve is drawing stone cold dead with all of his chips in the middle. All the money is going to Dickey. It doesn't matter that he has a spade draw. At this point, you might as well shift the sherbet. Dickey can't lose.
I ain't over until he pushes the gypsy.
I wonder what it feels like to flop the nuts straight here and have your opponent bet into you 2 streets.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
River affair.
Yeah,
Just
just in case.
So it looks like Kevin here is going to give us a little feedback from this hand. Where do you think Steve went wrong? If he did go wrong there, I mean, he did have pocket queens, and he wanted to put any pressure on any draws. I don't think there's any way to put your opponent on the nuts. I mean, I don't know if any player on this table is in the business of doing that, but Kevin says, I don't like the bet sizing, and I'm guessing on the flop is where you're going when he bet 475. So let's do some math here. I know there was a 60,000 ante in the middle, and he made it 225 pre, so there's what, 450 plus the ante in the middle. So he bet 475 on the flop, so it looks like he, I guess, bet about pot. But either way, I don't think there was any way that Steve doesn't double up Dickey there. Just a really unfortunate run of the cards. I mean, how often is your opponent going to call your pre-flop raise for what, 3x the blind,
Yeah.
and flop the nut straight with Jack 9. You know,
I mean, just flopping the straight alone. I mean,
it's just a cooler.
sheesh, yeah.
It's just a cooler. Reverend Ryan and Archbishop Don Juan. I like that. I like that. So Dickie, with all those newfound chips, now looks down at deuce tray of diamonds. He's feeling himself. And not to mention, he already has cards out, or chips out there, I should say. Well, he's raising to 200,000. Daniel with pocket nines. All right, Dickie, don't feel yourself too much now.
I just say, the night is still young.
You just got those chips.
A pair of 8s and a 7.
So Daniel here's going to have 2 pair of 9s and 8s. Going to play that 7 on the board. Dickie has, well, just a hope and a dream. And I think he might give up here once Daniel bets this flop. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next hand. Dickie, you put your hands in the cookie jar and you got caught. But he was feeling good. You know, he flopped the straight the hand
Absolutely, yeah.
before. Let's ride the heater, right? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that applies in tournaments too.
If you phrase it well enough, it'll apply to anything.
Yeah. Yeah, Cole Pittman, there was 740 players, a total prize pool of a little north of, what, 300,000? 355. And he showed, Daniel showed Dickie there those pocket nines. It didn't matter. If Daniel could see through those cards, he'd realize he was light years ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to small blind, big blind play, that's something that's outside of my wheelhouse. I mean, even at this level in a final table, small blind, big blind is there's such an intricate way to play that hand that everybody else folds. Like, I think there are literally charts online for just how you approach small blind, big blind, and the holdings that you have. So I think you're right, though, Tinstown. I think Daniel needs to be 3-betting there with those pocket nines. But don't quote me, as Jonathan Strange looks down at ace-king. Blinds are 40, 80, 80, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be coming, or rather he's going to be coming here with a raise. Yeah, Heather. Dickie has a really wide range, and like I said, I think the best way to describe his play is he likes to have fun. That doesn't mean he's going to be splashing the pot with, like, well, I can't say he's too splashy. I mean, he just opened deuce tray in the small line.
Right, yeah.
So I think Heather just has it right. I think he's just going to have a really, really wide range. So you got to approach Dickie with caution. So Mr. Strange goes with a, what, 4X, a little north of 4X sizing. Makes it 380,000 with ace king. I think that's a get the hell out of my pot kind of bet.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like everybody heard him loud and clear. So
Yeah, just wanted to collect a few chips there.
yeah, I mean, anybody that's calling him there, he more than likely is going to be c-betting there. Heather, how did you do? I was looking forward to seeing you on this final table. I know you played, so I wonder if you did well. Hopefully.
No blind, just bluff, okay?
Dennis there maintaining. You know, sometimes Dennis gets a bad rap. They call him super tight, all these other crazy things, and I think Dennis plays to win, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
You know?
You got to stick with your formula, right?
Exactly. If the formula is to play as tight as a rock, then stick to it.
I mean, and look, I mean, that play got him to the final table. Out of 748 entries, he's one of the 8 that made it to the final table, so it clearly worked for him.
Yeah, Mark, Heather took down the GoPo. I think she won the entire thing, so
Oh, that's right.
yeah, Heather knows what the hell she's doing. She's a really, really good player. I was looking forward to seeing her back there, but it was just so busy this weekend.
Oh, yes, it was.
I mean, there were a sea of players. It was kind of hard to point out anybody specifically that I knew.
So we see Jack 10 suited for Dennis this time around.
200.
And you better believe everybody at this table, even if they haven't had Dennis play with them or at their table, knows Dennis is raising. Dennis has.
Yeah, Dennis has something.
Yeah, his range is like aces. Like at the bottom of his opening range is probably like king queen suited,
Right.
ace 10 suited, ace jack suited.
But we see
It
Daniel
just so
here.
happens Daniel has a real hand too.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to 3-bet it up to 500,000.
And then Steve, who was already burned once, he's getting out of the way.
I think Mr. Strange is mentally checked out of the hand. He still has cards in front of him, though.
Yeah, he does. Oh, he's
counting out his money. I guess the dealer's going to have to let him know, hey, it's on you.
yeah. Definitely was not playing the reality stone on that one.
And it looks like that raise there from Daniel. It's going to go ahead and take the pot down. Not too many 3-bets. I mean, James initially came on the table, opened, and then 3-bet literally 2 consecutive hands in the first 2 hands of the stream. So he looks like he's going to take his foot off the gas and relax, try to pick up some good cards, make some good plays. Oh, Curiel here with queens. Curiel's going to make it 175. 200. It's like 200,000. 175?
175.
It looked like 4-4, right? All right, folds to Steve. Steve's going to call with the suited ace. Jonathan Strange is going to go ahead and fold. Tamer 7-5. Small blind, get rid of it. And I think we're just going to go heads up here. Ace, Trey suited versus pocket queens. We've seen queens fall once tonight.
Yes, we have.
Curiel's looking for them to hold again, and they will not.
Ooh, once again on the flop.
Now, for what it's worth, Curiel will have a gutter and backdoor spades working for him. But I think we'll probably get a bet from Steve. I don't know if he might check this back. I mean, it was a single raised pot. You got to think, what kind of holdings can your opponent be opening with in his position? Would they include aces, maybe some king X holdings? But I mean, when you call a raise and you flop a pair, top pair, you're probably going to want to bet. Yeah, so with some available outs going to the turn, Curiel's going to make the call. Looking for a jack or maybe a spade. Queen probably wouldn't be the best. And instead he finds an inconsequential 5 of hearts. Goes check, check on the turn, and a 4 of diamonds on the river will seal Curiel's fate in this hand. He cannot win. The question is, will Steve go for some value here on the river?
That's the only one. That's what I'm watching. That's the only one I can see right here.
I was going to say, yeah, he has a pretty bad kicker. Does take his showdown value there. And is going to show the ace off. Curiel quickly just get those out of my hand.
Yep.
He saw queens get torn to pieces. Thought he might have some different luck. Only thing is.
And that's the second time that we've seen queens tore to shreds.
Yeah.
Also, both times on the flop, too.
Yeah, but with premium holdings like that, you can't shy away from the game.
No, absolutely.
You know, you don't want to start to do, I wouldn't say weird things, but you don't want to start to do different things where you're now flatting with big pocket pairs or just cold calling with big pocket pairs when you should be 3-betting or raising. Curiel did the right thing. Steve there made the call there with an ace, flopped an ace, and well, that's the story. Lots of Dickey fans in the chat. I told you, he's just a really great guy.
Yeah, there is.
They all love him so much.
All right, so we see a 5, a 4, and a 3 on the flop here. Dennis does get pocket fives. And nobody has spades either.
No real draws out there, but Dennis there with top pair. Like I said, Dennis probably a little more of a tight reserved player, but he ain't silly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Top pair is, well, making a pair in this game that we call poker is really tough, so he is going to make the call here with top pair. It looks like Kirill is going to have a gutter to the 7-high straight, and he is going to pick up the lead, and front door spades do complete on the turn, so just a really, really bad card. Both players are going to check, and the 5 on the river upgrades Dennis to trips.
Wow.
And him checking the turn, it probably doesn't have a flush, so Dennis says, let me get some value. Why won't I? Value to the tune of $215,000. Or $250,000, excuse me.
Makes the call. He's going to be shown bad news.
Yeah, and that's going to put the table on notice. I thought Dennis was tight. You thought wrong.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, he's a rather reserved, that's the word I'll use, reserved player. But he's never going to be folding top pair and not going to be folding trips.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what we said before. If he's throwing something in there, chances are he feels he definitely has it, you know?
But did you set it up so? Oh. 183. I got 4, 6, 7.
All right, so Tamer with ace-8 suited did raise, and then that's going to make everyone else fold.
Dicky Burgers for dinner. Can someone please, anyone, because there's plenty who know him, what are Dicky Burgers?
Oh, no.
And how can I get my hands on one? I am a little hungry. Somebody can expedite one of those up here. I would be eternally grateful because it does sound pretty good. I can tell you what else sounds good. $63,223.
That sounds really, really good.
I love that.
And that's going to tonight's winner.
I couldn't quite pick someone if they had me. If they made me, I couldn't tell you who I would think would end up with the big money. All these players are experienced and good, and I like them all. I couldn't pick.
Yeah.
I really couldn't. I feel like they all have a really good shot at it.
But we do see Daniel here with King 10 suited, raised to 175. Tamer, though, ace king suited.
Yeah, Tamer, yep. There's just the flat-out shove for $1.3 million. I think that's a raise.
That's it definitely seems like it.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a raise. I think Daniel quickly respected Tamer's raise when it's, well, for all the chips. Kevin says it's rare you guys run a final table this long without a bust out. I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
to say.
That normally speaks volumes. Well, yeah, Chewy and Jacob normally do their thing.
I don't even know if this one works.
It does.
It does work.
Okay.
Don't say anything wrong. That's yourself in the box, by the way.
That is myself.
That is, yeah.
tell you one thing. This is probably the first and only time that I'm ever gonna watch myself.
It's a lot of fun. I can tell you when I first started dealing live streams, I found it like such a trip. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. And then when I made a mistake, I was very hard on myself. It's kind of hard to make a mistake, though, if you're James. You got ace-king on the button. It's a dream spot. You want to collect the blinds and a raise. Oh, Dickie has the same exact hand.
Uh-oh.
Dickie, what you going to do if you got ace-king in your hand and you got two people on your left and right? He says all in. All you can eat. I'm serving up Dickie burgers nice and hot. I'll even put some mayonnaise and ketchup on it if you want it. And James says, I'll quickly call.
I'm gonna fold. You folded anyway.
You didn't make the speech, I would have snap called you.
Oh shit! Thanks for folding. I threw up in the middle of the table right there. I'm serious.
I love Dickie added a little extra onto there. They had the same hand, and James showed it to him. So with the information, he still's like, oh, boy, if you called me, I'd have been in trouble. Like, nice, Dickie. I like that little Academy Award performance there.
Yeah.
He won't quit.
There might have been a little too much spice for the Dickie burgers there.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted none. I don't think he wanted any. Trust me, they're still under the hot light. They're still fresh and ready to go. So if anybody wants them, I think Dickie will oblige.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's serious. That was.
I'm gonna find out later and tell me now.
We'll let you off with a warning ticket this time. I misread my card. I believe you did too. Look, I ain't never had no money, so if I leave out here with no money, it's okay with me. I'll be the same as when I come in. You know? If I made a dime today, this week, I'm doing good.
So I turned it back on.
I fill my tank up before I come
People
over
want to
here.
hear that?
Rams won.
Stay in a
Stop.
mile away.
Stop.
That's what it says right there.
I know what it says. I'm not looking that up.
They're
And
up.
they're up right now. 2017, minute and 9 seconds left.
This is not a stream for football.
Yeah, how dare you bring this football talk to this final table?
I almost have to slap my hand when I get ready to say something football related because it is a final table
Yeah.
and we will be professional.
Like my team's in it, and I'm doing everything I can to not talk about it.
No. Brenda Little West is watching Dickie. Yeah, you and along with the rest of the crew, I swear, there might be about 150 of you in here, and I think about 90% are all Dickie fans.
Mm-hmm. Fans of Dickie and fans of his Dickie burgers, apparently.
So Daniel bumps it up to 160, a little 2x action. And it looks like Jonathan is going to make the call here in the big blind. He does have 80K already in. So he will make the call with 8-4 suited.
A jack, a 4, and a tray.
So we have an inside straight draw for Daniel and backdoor hearts, but Jonathan here is going to flop a piece. I guess pop, plop, or flop a piece, whichever one works.
We'll just say yes. It all works.
It all works. Daniel will bet this, though. Does have some available outs, and here comes Jonathan making the call with that 4. Oh,
Ooh.
it's a pretty good card if your name's Daniel. King on the river, just really, really bad cards. Really bad run out for Jonathan. He knows it. Should find a check here.
No, it won't be Eddie. I got a friend watching. I got a friend watching. It's not Eddie. Eddie will probably not tell anything if I busted him out.
I was there, dude. I was there.
Oh yeah, it's victory formation.
Yeah, it was. I looked and it was like,
Did you ever know the real James Brown? You never met the real James Brown? No. In my opinion, you the James Brown. You the real James Brown.
James Brown heard me, he'd be upset. 4, 4, 4, 6. Raised to 175,000 from the 7.
Oh, yeah, Kevin, I've been watching. Don't worry.
So Tamara does make the call here with Queen Jack. James with pocket trays.
Open ender. James tends to play flops pretty aggressive, so I envision he'll be throwing out a bet with all the overs out there. Try to get Tamer off his hand.
We got deuce on the turn here. And a 6 on the river. It's going to solidify James's pocket trays.
Yeah, but I think Tamer here with Queen High. Probably going to put a little bet out there.
Check around.
James Brown, let me tell you something, James Brown.
What's the rating up there?
With all these folks behind me.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Dickey fans in the chat. So appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys coming through. Again, this is the final table for event 1 of our Winter Series Open. It's also our final stream of the weekend. That's some big games on the streams Friday and Saturday. Had the 10-25 no limit hold'em game, and then Saturday you guys had 5-10 PLO, right?
Yeah, we have 5-10 PLO, 10 and a quarter, and then we're rounding it out with the final table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
There's James. Right back in the action is going to make it 175 with Queen Jack.
Well, it looks like the raise here is going to go ahead and make everyone else throw their hands in the muck.
There were 77. No, the Rams scored again.
Right, they were.
Oh, I thought it was on a commercial.
Rooting for the guy who looks like Aaron Paul.
Yeah, they think they're still a little sick. Though. They can't.
Hey.
Last time I was sitting right here, somebody had a number
Lord.
and they were tired.
Well, since I don't have any friends, can you tell me what you have hit by Paul to? I don't have the advantage of having a friend out here to tell me.
I don't know how long it's been. I'm sure some of them
Raised to 225,000.
but I don't even have to ask.
5,100 now. 5,100.
John Johnson in the middle.
Don Johnson in the middle.
So how does it get that?
What?
How does it get that?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I just know that probably when I started working here.
Looks like the final table slowed down just a little bit, but that's to be expected. There's a lot of money on the line, and this is no cash game, you know?
Absolutely.
Slow and steady wins the race. That's what we've been told, and I'm pretty sure every player at this table is going to adopt that saying, take things slow.
Yeah, it's definitely what everyone's been doing so far. And again, you know, everyone's still in it. We have not had a bust out yet.
There's Steve here opening Jack 10 suited. Don't know about that, but there is the raise. Jonathan right behind, pocket fours.
We see James here, though, with pocket aces. 3 bets it to 700,000. Sinister, we had over 700 entries in total. I think we had the exact number was 740 for event 1 of this Winter Series Open.
Now Steve's caught in between a rock and a hard place. The only thing is, if he calls, he doesn't know if Jonathan will ship it behind him, and then his 700,000 is dead. He has a marginal holding, not a holding he wants to get all his chips in with, but he's more or less scared of Jonathan. And, yeah, he's going to go ahead and make the fold. But James has been so active, and this is why James gets paid so much. Is because he's such an active and aggressive and splashy player,
right?
That you never can see hands like this coming. You just never can. And this is why Jonathan is even giving it thought. You know, they probably played a number that they got down to 2 tables. So all of these players have played with one another. And it's just really tough to put him on aces in that situation. I think he might have been in the big blind. Looked strong, and it was strong.
You were sitting over here, you can hear his heart pumping, I'm telling you. He was scared to death. Yeah, I'm scared with 2 aces. I believe that's what you had, no less than kings.
Adonis, C8 took me out with my ace-king versus my queens. C8, Dickey? You had ace-king versus queen-queen? No ace or king to improve?
Man.
Wow.
Well, even for poor Jeff, pocket queens didn't help him at all. It's been the story of the night here, too, where we've seen pocket queens kind of get destroyed.
Yeah, James is a wild, wild guy. Like, I've seen him put the money in with, like, deuce tray on a final table. Like, James is a wild guy. That's really the best way I can put it. Vince says, are they building another best bet in St. Johns County? There's Sage. He let you know. Yes, just south of St. Augustine Mall on 95. New room should be open here in probably the next 6 months. It's going to be a really nice property. I think they have the 4 walls up, so if you guys are in that area and you stop by or you see it in construction, go by and look at it. So Dickey's going to call James. Obviously, like I said, James has been really active, so people are going to start looking him up. And good Lord Jesus.
Ooh.
Sweet
what
baby
a flop
Jesus.
on that one.
Well, yeah, James flopped a queen-high flush with the redraw to the straight flush.
Yes, he did.
And Dickey's got a little backdoor action. But it's not going to matter here. James has just flopped it all. I mean, I understand that the king and the ace are still out there, but I don't think James is too quite worried about that. That'd be really sad. So Dickey's going to think over his options. As it stands right now, he has an open-ender and a 7-high flush draw. We know that does not matter because James has flopped the queen-high flush, but to him, he might think he has outs. So he will make the call for 300K, drawing Stone Cold Dead, and the river is the ace of clubs.
Got scared, didn't you? No, you were hoping for that.
And James sneakily checks it over to Dickey. Dickey, check it back, please. Find it in your heart to check it back. He's trying to trap you.
Yeah, he is.
I checked.
Smartly checks it back.
Smarks it, checks it.
Oh, God, man. God, yeah. Good in, bro.
He tried to trap him.
Yeah, he did.
He tried it. Dickey didn't take the bait. Dickey's going to keep a good portion of his chips. Take for granted his flush was only 7-high, so I don't think he was going to go too crazy there on that river. Lots of different hands beat him. Just a tough hand there if you're old Dickey. James, though, is continuing to wreak havoc on the table. Like I said, I believe he came to the table as the chip leader.
Yeah, he was, indeed.
And I think he still is the chip leader.
We could show some stats maybe after this hand if you want. Show the stat counts.
Good in. That's awesome. And then they hit a good club. Yeah.
Looks like Dennis is cutting on a raise. The blinds have upped themselves again. It's 50,000, 100,000 with a 100,000 big blind ante. And Dennis is going to make it 225 with ace 10.
Dang, Brown pulled one out good.
Daniel in the big blind. Keep in mind, folks, that these players in the big blind have 200K dead. 200K dead, so they're almost incentivized to make the call with well, anything. And that's going to be proved to be bad. Daniel might as well just surrender the 200K pre-flop because Dennis is going to find himself here with top 2 pair, aces and trays with the 10 kicker. Jack high, no good for Daniel. He's going to go ahead and ship over the 200K straight to Dennis.
Button's good. All right, Jay. Let's start this over again, man.
What do you think I had when I had 7?
All right, so we'll go ahead and show you the stat counts is where they're at right now.
It looks like Dennis. And wait, there's no way. This is not right. No. Dickey does not have 2.5 million. Dickey just lost a pot to James. No shot. We'll see it when it pops up here. I doubt, though, Dickey has 2.5 million. Yeah, Dennis has 2.8. That's right.
Yeah, so it probably was taking a minute before it updated
Yeah.
officially on the action tracker.
Yeah,
That's where
see,
James is at now.
James is
3.4. Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah, so when we pulled up the stats there, the action tracker was still updating with the information.
All right, friendly neighborhood guy Dickey with pocket queens mashes the all-in button. His all-in button isn't broke.
No, it is not.
So he's going to make it all the chips 1.745. So 1,745,000 with pocket queens. Tamer quickly realizes he's in trouble.
I'm in danger.
That's correct. That's correct. I am in danger. I have pocket fours, and I'm not putting all my money in, effectively all my money in with fours.
No.
I am in danger. I need to fold. There's Dennis. When Dennis the Menace raises, everybody get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Move.
He's already shown that a couple times. If he's involved in something, he's got something good.
I got a 4-hour ride. That is junk, though. Maybe some gas money. I think you're gonna have some gas money when you get out.
I don't even have my car out in the parking lot.
You live that close?
Well, last night when I went home,
Oh, it looks like
so I got
Dr. Strange is going to go ahead and make the call.
time to fix it.
That was a mistake.
I left it at the house.
Oh.
Ooh.
Excuse the hell out of
I was
me.
going to say that flop, though, with the flush draw.
Well, not only that, he has a straight flush draw. A 7 of hearts gives him the ultimate hand that can probably not be beat. Emphasis on probably. But Dennis will take that check as weakness and go out there for a standard C bet of 250,000. Obviously. Jonathan Axe is going to match the all-in button.
Yeah, he is.
And Dennis is going to quickly realize that he is not in the lead or in charge of this hand. Damn.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, copyright. Infraction. They will go ICM when there are 3 left. I don't know. I mean, there's no way to know if they'll do that. The independent chip model, just for those of you who didn't know, I just found out that. That's why I decided to say that. Independent chip model. Sounds good, right? If they do elect to do that, hey, that's for them to do. But with 63 up K up top, I don't know if I'd go that route, especially if I have a lot of chips. So if that changes in the near future, they might do it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's go, Daniel. Okay, nice.
All right, got some Daniel fans in there now.
Well, yeah, as the blinds continue to raise up, I think the field is going to have to widen their range of hands because, well, when it's 100, 200, at that point you're going to have 400K in the middle dead. And I tell you, a few of those big blinds, and there goes 800K out of your stack. Or not 800K. Yeah, 800K. So James is going to open ace-10 suited to 225. Tammer in the big blind with 150K dead, or excuse me, 200K dead.
I thought you were going to pull the trigger over there, Tanner. I might have to call on him.
No, he can go over there.
A really good suited ace. They look at
All right, so on to the next hand here. Again, this is our final table of event 1 of our Winter Series Open, which was a $560 no-limit hold'em tournament. Started off with 740 entrants into this event, and here we are at the Elite 8, as we're calling it. Our final table.
So Kirill has moved all in with King 7 offsuit. I don't know what he's up to, or if he felt this was his shot to take or his moment. But it's going to prove to be detrimental not only to his tournament life, but, well, to the money he could have potentially made, because I don't think Daniel's going to be folding ace-jack suited.
No, not at all.
that a call or a raise?
That's a call. This is an all-in. He's got 730,000.
Okay. Yeah, but he didn't say call. He just pushed that in.
Yeah, but this is
so that's
725 right here.
No, I know. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
look, this is 725 right here.
That's right.
One dealer to a table.
Absolutely.
Full one, full two.
There's a reason why we call Jacob the judge.
Keep the court in
All
order.
right, what do you guys? Put in the
Order
shuffle. You
in
got a
Jacob's court.
So an all-in and call. I think Kirill might have misclicked. I don't really know what the move was here.
Nah.
I don't know what possessed him to put all his money in with King 7, but he better find a king or a 7. Oh, no, he's dead.
Oh, no.
He needs a king. 1 out. 3 outs. 1 time.
And
No good.
that's not any of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I couldn't tell you. Nonetheless, can we put up some payouts? We need to see exactly how much money Kirill's going to be taking home.
Absolutely. So we got the payouts.
So yeah, at 7:30, Mark says the next hand he'd have put in 25% of his stack. There you go. Thank you. So Kirill's going to be eliminated in 8th place. He's going to take home $8,012. Very nice showing there from him. It was a $560 buy-in, so I'm not really too good at math, but that's a pretty good return on your money. So
Yeah,
there's nothing to
absolutely.
be ashamed of there, nothing to be upset about, nothing to be mad about. That is a great showing from him. He said, what is he supposed to wait for with 7 big blinds under the gun? I mean, I guess King 7 is the best thing you're going to see there, so I guess you guys are right.
Yeah.
Guess there really was no more waiting to be had.
Didn't have a choice.
Yeah, it was time to get it in.
But they got this. They'll have statements on the back there.
All right, looks like we got our new live stream dealer. I've worked with him for quite some time. He's a devout New York Giants fan. I know I said no more football talk. Tim Shufflebeam. He is now on the live stream crew, and he's already dealing this final table. So, hey, somewhat of a sweat. Hopefully he's not nervous. Looks like he's doing just fine.
Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to Tim.
He had 750K. Yeah. I'm realizing that he would have been in the big blind next hand. So, hey, I guess that was probably
Yeah,
the
I was
best-
gonna say,
best
either
available
way.
hand. You know, the blinds increase pretty quickly, so
That
you got
they
to
do.
take that into account.
So now it's Tammer going all in.
There's James. Says, let's go, Tim. You got the let's go, Tim from Sage.
All right, yeah.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Shuffle Beam. It is. He said it was German. Pretty cool.
It definitely has a German ring to it.
Now James is really thinking about this. He has so many chips.
Yeah.
And he says, I call, throws them into the side.
Yeah,
and
he
we're going to
did.
go heads up here for, I believe, Tammer's Tournament Life. Queen Jack suited for Tammer. Pocket trays for James. Shuffle Beam, give us 5 cards. Oh!
Ooh. Pair of 10s in a tray.
It doesn't matter.
Nope,
it doesn't
it's
matter.
dead.
Flush draw is irrelevant.
Yep.
That's a full house.
It is.
This is the
The fullest of houses.
Brown, do you feel good?
I'm with Dickie there.
Yeah, I was
James
gonna
Brown,
say.
do you feel good?
You're just missing a ow.
I mean, if he got up and busted a step, I wouldn't be too mad at him.
No, not at all.
It must be pretty relieving when you flop the effective nuts against your opponent and he's drawing dead before the turn and river come.
We're talking. We hadn't had any bust outs recently. Well, in the past 2 hands, we just saw 2 of them.
And then someone goes, but Adonis, he actually isn't drawing dead because the 10 of spades was on the flop. So if the 9 of spades comes, he picks up the straight flush draw. I love chats.
Yeah.
They're so much
Chats
fun.
are fun.
They're so much fun. I said it before somebody was ready to type it. It's a lot of fun.
So how about that? We get our new dealer Shuffle Beam in the house, and
Dishing out the coolers, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Darren says Tammer's a smart player. I'm surprised. I mean, as I was clued in on with Kirill's all in and now Tammer's all in.
Yeah,
The blinds are ever increasing and the blinds are coming around rather quick. so-
exactly. So it's just like get it in while you can. Yeah, it's the same situation.
And I think somebody in the chat said it. They said once these blinds go up, that players are going to start to move all in here with holdings other than just like aces, kings, queens, jacks. So you know.
And then just like what we see now here with Steve going all in with pocket sevens.
Oh, that's a much better holding. And on the chart, I've looked at the chart. On the chart, sevens is definitely an all-in. Oh, Dickey. In the big blind with ace king. I don't think he can fold. I don't think this is ever a fold.
Probably have to make this call, man. Probably gonna beat me, but I'm stupid if I don't make it. I call.
He says, I call.
Yeah, so he's like, has to, yep.
It's a traditional flip here.
You got sevens?
Ace king versus pocket sevens.
Watch this seven flip out there.
He says, watch the 7.
Oh my God.
A 10, 5, and a 6.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Jack of diamonds on the turn. He needs a queen or an ace or a king, and it's not going to find one. Steve is going to get the full double up and is now has almost 2 million in chips. Not too bad.
And more importantly as well, you know, extending out that tournament life for him.
Well, I can't get too excited. You know, when you think 2 million in chips, it seems like a lot, but the blinds.
But
are
again,
rather high.
it becomes blind count basically when it comes to tournament.
At that point, I don't think anybody has over double-digit blinds in us unless your name is James Brown.
Right.
Good hand, man. I knew you had fair. I was racing. I couldn't do that.
Well, it looks like, okay, so Dickey has, what, 1.2, so he has about, what, 11 big. So everybody's going to be within that, like, 10 to, like, 14 big range. Like I said, unless you're James. They're dropping like flies. I promise we went a rather long time without a knockout. And I tell you, they've started to come back to back here.
Yeah.
Kirill, Tamer, just truly unfortunate. But hey, once those blinds get big, your options are limited.
But again, though, at the same time, as these as each level, you know, as we go up each level, those blinds go up as well.
Frame that and put it in your house. Frame that and put it in your house. Just frame it and put it in your house. Get it blown up.
I plan on it.
Get like a 14 by 16. Frame it, put it in your house wherever you want.
I plan on it, 100%.
Big blind ending tournaments end with a not with a whimper, but with a bang. I do enjoy that comment, and I do agree with you. How many big blinds you have is irrelevant in a big blind any game. Measurement ratio is what you have to consider. Interesting.
That's up. Check. Check. Check 8, check 9.
Goes check.
Check 9.
Dickey's going to pick up a straight draw. Daniel flush draw and a pair.
I got 8 high. Oh, man, you sucked that on me.
Your guess is as good as mine, Mark. Your guess is just as good as mine. So it looks like Daniel's pair of 4s is going to hold. He'll get the check mark. He'll get the chips. He'll get it all. It might be.
Now you know why James folded it.
I thought that was my chain. That wasn't my chain.
All right, poker people, what is up? What's happening?
Oh, the old shack lock.
Yeah, quick changing of the guards. You got me in the booth with you guys for the rest of the night.
You have had many caps this weekend. You were running the horse tournament in the back of the room.
That's right.
Live streaming with me for the past 2 days.
That's right, doing it all.
Handling payouts.
That's it.
Making floor calls.
You know? I love tournament time, man. You get to mix it up, you know. When there's no tournament, you just kind of walk around on the cash floor and do the same thing every day. It's like Groundhog's Day. Tournament, you get to mix it up.
You do.
Yeah, it's fun.
You get a lot of different hats and a lot of different responsibilities. And
that's right.
That man excels at them. Good Jonathan, though. Ace King, and he's going to use some of those Don Johnsons and bump it up to 350.
Well, I don't hate it.
Blinds are 50K, 100K. So hey, you got to start making moves now before it's too late.
3.5X trying to pick up some chips.
Now, Mark, even though that is a funny comment, and I do have to laugh just a little bit, Dennis actually, Dennis can go. Dennis is real. I've seen Dennis play 2-3 day tournaments and outlast some of the young whippersnappers out here. Shane Villarreal says, "What is measurement ratio?" I don't know. If Tyler wants to, he can educate the chats. I'll definitely read what he has to say. You're the second person to ask that now, though. And I can tell you this much, truthfully, I don't know what it is either.
Papa Sage in the chat. What's up, my man? Tony Workman, Big Tank. Kevin Walls in the chat.
Not the
What's
Shaq
up?
Daddy.
What's up?
Not the Shaq Daddy.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Dustin's a man. He is. He is.
Kevin Thiel says, what's up with the 15-player horse chop? It was past all their bedtime.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
The horse
chopped
tournament.
it up 15 ways. Everyone made about pretty close to 5th place money.
15 people agreed to one thing.
At the same time.
That's astounding.
Yeah, simultaneously. It was wild.
That's astounding.
Yeah, it was time for them all to go to bed.
It's 225 to go. Daniel's going to raise it up.
This time he's got the big slick suited on the button.
Yeah, everybody's going to get rid of it. Daniel's going to take the chips down, and he's going to show it to him.
Shows him.
You got to understand, six-handed, though, it's just so sick. I think Charlie got it in Kings versus Aces seven-handed. Just
button versus big blind or small blind. Yeah.
I'm like, you just can't make up those. You can't make up those moments, even in stories or fantasy. Jeff Manders, right in on time, says the measurement ratio is a measurement of a player stack in a tournament by assessing how long a player can last before being blinded out. Okay. I had no idea. I'm gonna read that again.
Are we talking about the metric of M, the idea of M?
Yeah,
It's orbits, it's stack divided by orbits and like ante and big blind combined.
Sounds complicated. And I'm guessing people
It's how many,
calculate-
based on your stack size, it's how many orbits you can survive the blinds and the antes combined. So if every orbit costs you 250K and you have 2.5 million, you can last for 10 orbits. You have an M number of 10.
Oh, this is why Tyler said it doesn't take into account the big blinds you have, but rather measurement ratio.
I think that's what they're referring to.
Ah, y'all so smart.
There will be a break. I believe so, yes.
Y'all so damn smart. So I'm guessing players at this level, or even I guess when they start, take that into account and calculate that.
Yeah, it's just like a running thing you should have in your head when you play tournaments.
Damn, Tyler, I need you to come back here with me, man. Teach me something. And that's not even being like funny or facetious. That's like being honest.
That's not even being funny.
Nah, I ain't even being funny. I'm like, I ain't know that. And I'm supposed to be a poker dealer. Not that means I should understand the theory of poker or what comes with tournament play, but hey, I've been around poker for a while and I've never heard measurement ratio, so I feel like I need to learn something.
Learn something new every day, buddy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
This job will
Baba
keep you on your toes, if nothing else.
keeps me on my toes.
The old 7 deuce in the muck. Steve picking up Jack 6 off suit from the cutoff in the muck.
I would appreciate that very much, Tyler. I really would. Come find me now. Don't hype me up and let me down. Come find me. I'll always be around. Look at Dennis stepping outside the box. And they say he's tight, Dustin. That's what
Man.
they tell me.
James Brown is never folding a pair of 5s in the spot. Let's go.
Emphasis on never.
James might have beat him in the pot with his own chips.
Emphasis on never.
James going to get there, too. Watch. Oh, almost. Mr. Dennis flops 2 pair. Middle 2 for Mr. Dennis.
I love Dennis.
I'd like to see Mr. Dennis get crazy and go for the check raise here. Goes for the small bet. Okay, I like that too. Gets through James. I think if Mr. Dennis would have checked that, I think James might have fired at it. Mr. Dennis could have gone for the old check raise.
He's pretty methodical in his play. That's what he says. He goes, I go, Dennis, you've done a pretty good job. He goes, I don't know. They always know what I have. I go, well, even if they do know what you have, that doesn't stop you from winning the pot.
We are still running the 360 with bounties in the back of the room, down to the final roughly 10, I think. A few minutes ago we had
Final
12
10
left.
players? Not bad.
Yeah, got 9 players left. First place for this 360 with $100 bounties is over $10,000. Can you believe it? That's so sick.
That's actually not bad at all.
Oh, here we go. The ace-jack versus the ace-4 trick.
Maybe I'll make a final table. Hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
I like your enthusiasm.
I look forward to it. Steve there with ace-jack offsuit. Got about 1.6 million. Keep in mind, gentlemen, I believe, and ladies watching, I think the blinds are increasing next hand. I'm not sure if it's on for this hand, but it will be 60K 120. So players are going to have 240K dead in the middle, each big blind. Chris, the buy-in was $560. That's it. So $560 to win 63,000. Sign me up. I might even fire a couple bullets at it.
Yeah, 10K for first in the 360 with $100 bounties. Plus, every player you knock out, you get a black chip.
Looks like Dickie there wanted to take it back jokingly, but realized the chips were already in the middle. Obviously knows the rules of poker. He's going to make the call. Only thing is a jack would be probably a disastrous card for Dickie. He's got 670. He's got less than a pot size bet left. And, yeah, the money's going in. The money's going in. Dickie's just going to need to find a queen. And if he does, I believe it's just a straight-up chop. Yeah, a queen would be a chop. He can only draw the chop outs, right? Unless he makes 2 pair.
That's right.
Or, another king. If he makes a jack, Steve improves to a better 2 pair. So he needs a queen to chop, a king to win. And Steve has the jack of spades. So.
That's right. We see his 6 outs up there in the top right-hand corner of the screen.
What else?
I said you should have put it that earlier.
So Steve is going to go ahead and put Dickie all in.
I see I should have now.
Steve with top pair and a gutter. Dickie with middle pair and a gutter. And I don't see how Dickie could ever be folding this here. Yeah,
I think we're getting it in.
Dickie's going to be in the small blind next hand, so he's going to have to put 60K in. And I think he's just going to have to get it in here.
Whoa, what a fold by Dickie.
Damn. And a good fold.
Good.
The only thing is he's going to be close. He's going to be a little on life support. Like I said, the blinds are going to be coming around pretty quickly.
All right, now. I done paid you. I done paid you back.
Yeah, what a fold by Dickie Malone there.
That's a big fold.
Dickie Malone got a pretty good-looking Hendon mob.
Yeah, he's made some money. He's made plenty of money. Let's actually look him up because I know I'm going to. Let's see what his Hendon mob's looking like. We'll look up everybody's Hendon mob at the table. Give people an idea of the player's credentials. That's what we'll do. So Richard Malone, a.k.a. Dickie Malone, has almost 400,000 in total live earnings. His biggest cash is, I think, about 237.
What?
So
Yeah, he had a big WPT here one year. I think he got second. I don't think he got first, but I think he got second.
for all the monies.
Dog Daddy in the chat. What's up?
James Brown, a little north of 340,000 in live earnings.
Okay, James Brown.
So he also has done pretty well for himself. Like I said, all these players have done extremely well at the high level of tournament poker.
Tournaments are hard, man. A lot of variance, a lot of swings. I can't fade it.
Me neither.
Tournaments are tough, man, even for me.
Me neither.
Come on now. I'd rather take my shot right here than that shot where that ace stared me in the face and you'd have let out that much.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We're wrapping up our triple header this weekend. We had a big weekend, 1025 No Limit Hold'em on Friday night, archived over on our YouTube page. Over $170,000 on the table. We had 5, 10, 25 Pot Limit Omaha on Saturday night. Another huge game, also archived on our YouTube page. And then back tonight with the final table of Event 1. We had 740 entrants, generating a massive prize pool.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to take home $63,000 for a $500 buy-in.
That's going to be a lot of fun. There's Dickey all in there with the ace-7. He knows that big blind's coming soon.
Ran into it.
He knows it is. And
Steve got the ace-queen offsuit. I expect to see the snap out of Steve.
never folded. Never folded.
Sage in chat says, action? Yeah, it was action, man. They had $170,000 on the table and everyone was drunk.
Literally everybody was drunk.
Everyone was drunk.
The Tito's was flowing through
The
everybody's
Tito's
veins.
was flying off the shelf. Couldn't keep it in stock.
Somebody, it was so bad, Sage, I promise you not. Somebody asked in the chat, hey, is there a sale on, I think, wine or alcohol? Because they had so much of it. I was like, no, it's still the same price. They just like to drink it.
Yeah, they said, are you guys having a sale on wine in the room? Why are they drinking so many bottles of wine?
I'm like, this is a standard Saturday in the room, guys. Steve,
James put himself in a weird spot here, raising to 275.
he has $4 million, and you know he just likes to gamble. You know that. Steve makes the call. He might just be like, why not? I think
I
Steve
don't
needs
know.
to reshove.
With James behind him, I don't know if Steve can just flat here.
He's got to reshove.
Steve has Steve's got about a 3x raise here. There's $1 million in the middle, almost 1.2. Yeah, Steve has a weird stack size here. It's a bit much
If he
to just over-rip.
calls James 100% is it.
Yeah, but it's a tough spot because just ripping his whole stack is a big raise with James behind. Like, you don't want to just you don't want James to just have aces and you just gift him 2 million
That's fair.
chips,
That's
you
fair.
know? So, but then it's also a weird time to just kind of put half your stack in there. Yeah, Steve in a weird stack size spot here, I think is what he's thinking about. That's right, Sage. That's exactly what happened.
Do you remember how much they played that song on the radio?
Well, you got
Yeah.
to stare down.
God, I got sick of that song.
You got me all nervous. Is all. I mean, I'm gonna have another drink. You got me all nervous.
Dickey says
is
he's
all.
not worried about him, so Dustin's Oh, I don't know if that was a part of what you said.
And I think with James behind him, I think he got freaked out with James behind him.
What I said? What did I say? I said James was in even with the Steve fold.
Yeah, but if Steve rips there, James folds.
Yes,
But Steve,
that's-
obviously Steve doesn't know that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but like you said, he feels like he could be behind with aces. God,
No, dude.
James runs so good. James runs so freaking
Wow, Steve
good.
would have made the nuts. Oh, wow, Steve would have made the absolute stones.
He had ace queen, didn't he?
He had ace queen.
There you go.
Ouch, ouch. Boss man in the chat, what's up? Just saw a guy fold ace queen. Pre-flop.
Not that.
Five-handed.
I like Steve, okay?
I do too. I played a lot of hands with Steve.
Dustin, that ain't what you're supposed to do with ace queen there, is it?
It's kind of tough with the guy behind. You know, the guy behind has all the chips. Like I said, you don't want to just gift him $2 million. He just wakes up with aces there, you know?
And what did you
You block
say?
aces, but still.
As to Steve shoving, you said that's too large of a raise there in that situation? He made
Well,
it,
you know, after I said it, I thought about it a little more, and he would have had to make it like 1.1. Would have even just been a min click, and he had 1.9. So
because
it
Dickey
wasn't
was
that,
all in
it's
for
not that crazy.
Dickey's all in for 610.
Yeah, but Dickey was only facing like a 400 raise, 400K raise,
Okay.
because James opened to like 275. Dickey ripped like 600.
Okay. Okay. I see
So
what
like
you're saying.
even a min click for Steve, he would have had to go to like 1.1.
Okay. And that leaves him in a weird spot with like 800K behind, 900K behind. I see what you're saying. Okay, makes sense. Hey, what's up, boss man? What's going on? Got a final table brewing. Somebody gonna make $63,000.
But also the ICM, if Dickey gets knocked out in that spot, Steve can fold because if Dickey gets knocked out, Steve
5K.
makes an extra 4 or 5K.
Yeah, Kevin looked it up. It was an extra 5K to ladder up.
Yeah, so I get the fold there from Steve. Let James, the big stack, take out the short stack. The middle stack is where you feel the most pressure in these things.
Yeah, Slick Rick. I remember that comment, buddy. Yeah, good tournament there from Dickey. I believe Dickey's going to be taking home somewhere around about 20K, 20-ish K. Got eliminated in, so let's see. It was Kirill, Tamer, and then I believe Dickey. So Dickey's going to be taking home some good money. Nothing to be
Yeah, I think Dickey's going to take home about 17K for that 6th place finish there.
I wonder how you feel, though, if you're Steve. Was that the correct fold? Like, does that hurt? Do you think about that for the rest of the tournament?
Well, I don't know. When you think about the ICM behind it, I mean, it makes sense.
Makes sense? Okay. Yeah, James has a massive stack. And he said he was looking forward to it. I'll reiterate one more time. He told me, he said, Adonis, if I bank this tournament, my tournament winnings goes over 400,000. And I said, so what do you have to do? He goes, I got to bank it. And I think it's safe to say he has close to 40 to 50% of the chips in play. So as it stands, he's going to put himself in a primed position to do just that and bank it. I'd be okay with just calling there with ace-queen if you consider ICM and odds. The all-in player has to fade 2 players. Even if it goes check to the river, there's a possibility all-in player is getting eliminated. Pretty good analysis from you. Tyler, where you been at? I ain't never seen you in the chat before. You sound pretty knowledgeable.
We'll find out later.
I definitely.
But I agree with him. Like I said, that tournament play, M ratio considered, ICM considered, it's just it's out of my wheelhouse. So I'm learning with you guys.
I thought I had the best hand.
And that's, I thought about has to be 120, 120.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Now, Mark makes a really good point. James literally has almost about 5.4 million, so he's going to have about double everyone's stack on the table. You thought he was opening wide before, or you thought he might have been a little loose calling there with Jack 7. Oh, boy. The floodgates are wide open, and we might see some things from James we never thought we'd see. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful showing from Dickey. I mean, the man has made this final table of this event 2-3 times in a row. Something weird like that. I mean,
Had to fade, 735 other players.
you know,
That's
hey,
pretty strong.
Hey, I mean, that's not too bad, right?
It's pretty strong, man.
Is that a 3-bet? I think it is.
Raise 500,000. Steve White.
Raised to 500,000. Steve says, I won't make the same mistake twice.
Steve's going to take that one down, puts in a nice 3-bet with the ace-10 of hearts. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll don't forget to head over to the website, bestbetjacks.com. Check out the rest of our Winter Series Open. You can follow the drop-down menu for tournaments, show you the whole schedule. And then that'll culminate in our main event starting next weekend. $2,000 buy-in main event right here, Best Bet Jacksonville. If event 1 is any indicator of what to expect, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, we sure did. We got to see Big Tank and Dickey on the same table.
Yeah, it's huge.
Shout out to Big Tank.
Big Tank.
Yes, we will see ICM pressure from James Brown. Like I said, he didn't even need the chip stack to do it. He would do it in the same position if he had 2 big blinds. So you very well believe those glasses are going to be putting a lot of pressure on the rest of the field. He's just going to give him that same little look right there.
James comes to play, man. Doesn't matter if it's a $60 daily or a 5K main event. James brings it.
I'm telling you, he got all the chips in on a final table with deuce tray.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And then he looks at me with the biggest freaking smile. He ended up winning the pot. Guy is.
I believe it. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be having. I don't think you would ever know what he had. He just put it in the muck, right?
Looks like he's counting out a raise. Yeah, he's counting out a raise with pocket queens. Oh my God, he made it 700 and I want to say 75,000. Dennis with 650,000, excuse me. And now the action's back to Dennis. Like I said, the pressure's on. Blinds are raising.
This is a little wide for Mr. Dennis in the small blind up against James, I think. James has all the chips. Mr. Dennis only has about 20 bigs. Yeah, that's the exact position that you don't want to put yourself in if you're Mr. Dennis against a player like James.
If you're James, you can just coast here to at least the final two. You got a ton of chips.
Easy game.
You got a ton of chips. You're running well. Like, hey, what do you do?
He had me in a bad way.
He had.
I'll text you tomorrow about. Yeah, I will. Hey man, the last one I won, I did.
You pressure the others to build a stack, use ICM against them, and he's doing it. Up there, you see that spot with all that baldness up top. That's where he's hatching up all these. That's why it looks like a nest for small birds. He's hatching
Is that what's happening up there?
all of these ideas to put pressure on all the players. And if I had 5-6 million in stack, I'd do the same freaking thing. So, hey, easy game for James. Smooth sailing for James. Exactly, Tyler. Things get real juicy. Payouts, yeah. Give Dustin 1 second. He's going to put it in for you. Right now we have 5 players left, so he'll put in 5th place to 1st place.
There we go. Next player out's going to take home 17,000.
Look at Dennis with kings. Reshoving here in front of Jonathan. I don't think Jonathan can fold. Actually, he already made the call. Somebody's tournament life is going to be on the line. Actually, if Dennis loses, he'll have a little bit left.
They got it in pretty quick there, right? Man, Jonathan beat him in the pot with ace-queen.
Yeah, kings are in the lead. He's going to need
Man's
like
got 3 outs.
Yeah, now he has.
Still got 3 outs.
That's it.
Can't do it. That's going to be a wrap for Jonathan Strange. He's going to hit the rail. He's going to take home 17,000. Not bad for a $500 buy-in.
What did he have? How much did he have in chips? I think there's a lot to consider here. I
He
realize
had like 1.6, so like 16 bigs, I think.
Yeah, I realize it's not like a cash game. You can't just get your money in there with a marginal hand like ace queen. But hey, yeah, Kevin, I do that from time to time. I'm sorry, Kevin and Jason. Pressure, not smooth sailing, not coast, just pressure. Baba Yaga says, "Way to go, Dennis." Yeah, Dennis is in there. I don't think any player can really coast. I think if you're anyone other than James, you're looking to try to deal a big blow to his stack and hope that you're not in a position with a really good hand and to the point where you just can't fold. Not anymore. Dennis is a fish. Wow, Jason, relax. So it looks like we're going to do a little coloring up there. You see Johnny Pham. I told you that man works hard, and he's taking care of some administrative things. Going to give Dennis some Don to Johnson. So there are the payouts there at the top of your screen. $63,000 to first place. And even if you get knocked out before you get there, 5th place is still going to take home $17,000. And that's 17,000 reasons I'd want to be in a tournament like this. Chip counts there. James with 44 big blinds, 5.3 million in chips. Strange just got knocked out, so that 1.7 was inhaled by Dennis's stack. Oh, and Steve now picks up 2 kings. The Cowboys are moving around the table. Oh, a shark? Okay, sorry. Emojis, they're so tough to read sometimes. Shark is a little bit better, right? Especially with kings there. It looked like a dolphin, I'm not going to lie, Jason. I was like, wait, what is that? Daniel, I think, picked the wrong time to try to be funny. That's the only way I can look at it. And it looks like Steve's going to make it 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 650? Yeah, 650 to go. Wait, everyone at this table has knocked you out of a tournament except for the dude in the red hat? You're kidding, right? And I've knocked out everybody but Dennis. Dennis is hard to knock out of a tournament, man. Dennis is just a guy, he stays, even if he's short stack, he just sticks around. It's hard to play against the guy. Wow. Talk about a bad beat, Jason. And there's nothing you can do there. You're never going to get away from top 2. You're human like all of us. You just hope he doesn't turn over deuces, and then he does, right? And there's the run good for James Brown. I guess he had his Wheaties this morning because he cannot stop picking up good cards. And at this level of the tournament, it's so important to have good cards, you know? The blinds are ever increasing. You have a ton of chips as he puts in a stack of Don Johnsons, and that's $1 million in the chips to play. I believe these are the 2 big stacks at the table. Dennis is sporting his own stack of Don Johnsons, but with a6 offsuit, I don't think he's going to be putting in a penny more. Yes, he did. At least James is politely showing the table. I mean, I know we've had plenty of discussions in the chat about the, pros and cons of showing your hands before the flop or when you take down a pot. But James is being more than generous enough to show the table what he's holding when he's raising.
I promise you that.
I feel like that psychologically will do something to you, you know? If I'm Steve or Daniel, and this guy has almost close to, 50 bigs, is picking up ace, king, queens, and he's showing it down, I'm scared. I don't want to go up against that guy. You think if I pick up a good enough hand, who knows, he might wake up with a better hand. Oh, okay, I see. Dennis has been playing poker for 200 years. I mean, hey, look at it like this. If he's been playing for 200 years, he's damn sure picked up a few things. As James, I think we got that right there. Using that information that he gave the table about showing down ace-king, he's going to open king-7 of clubs on the button to 275,000. Oh, and there's the all-in there from Daniel. And Steve finds himself in another spot. I think this will be a much easier spot. This is not a light call. This would be for almost half of James' stack. He's going to go ahead and fold. Good move there from Daniel. There's Steve in the small blind with 10-8 suited, raises it up. Dennis quickly folds. At this point, every chip counts, every chip matters when the blinds are so much, and they come around extremely quickly. There's only 4 players left. We're down to our final 4. Yeah, and now in terms of patience, Antonio, I mean, I'm talking just sit there, not move, not make a movement, and just wait until he can find some good enough cards to get in there.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just getting right the heck out of your way. Let's see, what can I do different this time?
Go ahead.
20, sir. 20,000, sir. Heads up.
All right, we got the 9 deuce versus the jack 4. 9 deuce for Dennis, jack 4 for James. Blind versus blind. Neither player connects, but that's not going to stop Dennis from putting in a small wager. Figures he might be good, and sure enough, before he could get his chips across the line, Dennis is going to take it down. Dennis got a little bluffing in the wheelhouse. I'll never forget. I'll never, ever forget. I was dealing like a 160 in the back of the room on like a Sunday, and it was maybe a full table, got into a rather large pot, and, you know, there are all the overs on the board. Make a long story short, Dennis puts out a monster bet on the river. His opponent folds, and Dennis turns over the stone-cold bluff, and I think the table erupted. Everybody was like, I just didn't know Dennis could bluff because he never does. And the table was shocked. I was shocked. I just could not believe it.
Good playing, Dickie.
The man is very patient. He normally waits until he's in a good enough spot with a good enough holding to get his chips in or to even put chips in the middle. So it blew all of us away. Yeah, Kenny, his laugh is pretty amazing.
Yes.
It just went to 160. It ain't gone up yet.
Looks like the blinds are going to be up after this hand. They're going to be at 80,000 in the small blind, 160,000 in the big blind with a big blind ante of the same. It is. It is. Dennis does not deviate. He does not. He'll come out every now and then, like every 2 to 3 years, throw a little bluff out there and go right back in. And listen, to those who say that might not work or You know, maybe there are styles or plays I don't see from Dennis, but every time we run the weekly or when we run a series, Dennis finds himself at a handful of final tables. So whatever he's doing is working. As James is going to bump it up, or excuse me, he 3-bet Steve here to $500,000 in chips. Baba Yaga says, yesterday, Dennis owned this one young kid yesterday. I used yesterday twice. I like it. Every time he raised, Dennis called and beat him. It was great showing them youngsters how it's done. Gave him a lesson he'll never forget. Looks like Steve's going to make the call with Jack 10. We got 1.2 in the middle, and look at that. Steve is going to flop top pair. James is not out of it yet. Does have some wheel draw outs, or could hit his over. James bets 450. I don't think in this game of poker we can flop top pair and fold, can we? So Steve makes the call, James checks, and now the action's to Steve. This pot is building over $2 million in the middle. Steve is sitting here with about 1.9, so about a pot-sized bet remaining. The front door flush does complete. And James is not sitting, well, not James, excuse me, but Steve probably has his holding memorized in his mind and knows that he doesn't have the jack of spades. Probably wishes he does, but does still have the lead, but the action's to him. Wonder if he should check this back or bet, but that spade's a little dangerous. Cole Pittman says, ship it in, huh? Well, he is eyeing his stack, so I guess Steve is about to make a move. Cole thinks it should be ship it, but he checks it back. We're going to go heads up to a river. And the 4 pairs the board. It's a pretty good card for Steve. Figures, though, if James checks the turn, he might not have spades. Might have a spade 1-pair holding. But here, 4-handed, it's kind of hard to put your opponent on something, but James gives up on the hand. And Steve checks it back, gets a check mark. He's going to take down $2 million in chips. James, with the hope and a prayer with that ace-5, needed to find a deuce. And he does not click the all-in button. Kyle says, why is he in the tank? Explain, Kyle, what do you mean? Do you think he should have just snap-shifted there on the turn? Brian McCarthy says all in as well. Looks like you guys think he should have probably moved all in on the turn. So that's about $2 million shipped to Steve. So Steve is going to chip up here pretty big. I mean, at this point, like I said, chipping up at any time is pretty good. MC Hammer says no all in on the turn. So we do have one person that doesn't think he should have shipped it in. Jason says a spade would have killed Steve. Yeah. Spade would have been absolutely disastrous. Would have definitely felt a little pain there. Gary says my man took down a fat pot. A win is a win. Gary also agrees with the no ship. So it looks like you guys are divided in the chats. I think 2 or 3 of you said ship it all in, and 2 or 3 of you said just take down the pot, get the showdown, and don't worry about getting it all in. All right, so Steve and Daniel are here heads up. And both are going to flop here a piece. Steve's piece, obviously, from what we see, a little bit bigger. But like I said, four-handed play is just so weird. It's so hard to wrap your head around because you're four-handed. But both players here are going to get a piece of this flop. Looks like we've got a bet and a call to the turn. It's going to be no help for either player. A offsuit 6 of diamonds. So Steve looks like he wants to make sure to get a proper account of his opponent's chips before he bets or decides to put any more money in the pot, which is important, you know. Not to say that there's anything malicious going on at the table, but you always want to account for what your opponent has in stack so that there are no misclicks. So that's a good question there from Steve, just to make sure. But the river is a jack. It does put 4 to a straight on the board. Any ace or any 9 makes a straight. Let's see if Daniel used that card to his advantage. May think he might be outclassed with not only his kicker, but his pair of queens. Might decide to use that card as a bluff. And sure enough so, as I say that because I don't think you can really value bet his exact holding, he's going to go ahead and bluff at it. 940 in the middle. He's going to go for about, what, 400? So 355. Looks somewhat like a value bet. It's about a third of pot. I wonder if Steve calls here. I wonder if he just goes not deep into the tank, but rather considers what holdings Daniel could have. It's small blind, big blind. It went call and check. He could have all the 9s in his range, but then you got to ask yourself how the action went if he could ever be capable of holding a 9 or an ace. It does look like value From my perspective. I'm not saying I'm right, but if I'm sitting at the table, if I have those chips in front of me, it looks like value, and I think I probably find a fold. But that's why I'm here, and they're there. I don't claim to be any experienced tournament player or cash game player. I just try to make sense of what I see and learn a little something with you guys. Yeah, and Steve does make the fold. Picks up a decent-sized pot. Steve wanted a little information there. Felt like he might have folded the best hand. He was right. We can see that from all the way up here in the sky. But on the table there, he might have thought he had an ace or a nine. Didn't want to donate any more to the pot or to him. Not too mad at Steve there for that fold. Did look like value. Looked like Daniel was holding the ace or the nine. So Steve's going to put that hand behind him and keep playing. There are 4 remaining in this tournament. $63,000 up top. You don't want to make any misclicks. You don't want to make any mistakes, because at this point in the tournament, it could cost you your tournament life. Little blind versus blind action. Dennis with 5 tray. Oh, Lord. Dennis mashes it up. Has the right read on him, I guess. And Dennis showing a little bit of his poker chops here. Those aren't aces. Those aren't kings. And he shows it to him. Dennis, you're beside yourself. Don't show him too much. They thought the man wasn't capable of a bluff. They thought he was an OMC and puts it on him here four-handed. Dennis has his eyes on the prize. Dennis is looking to make about $63K there with that bluff.
Mr. Dennis running big bluffs, huh?
5 tray suited.
Man,
Stone
what a sicko.
bumps it up to, I think that was about 800,000.
You still got it.
I mean, I don't think he ever lost it.
He's with it. Big Tank says Dennis is a boss.
Dennis is a boss.
Dennis been around the block. He knows what's up.
Like I said, he comes out every 3 to 4 years for a bluff and then just goes right on back into the corner.
That's the best way to do it. You do it too much, it don't work.
Exactly. Pretty good flop for Steve. Looks like he has the gutter. Queen doesn't help anyone. Puts an over on the board. Transfer, please. Yeah. Looks like a number card on the river, a 9.
Gonna give Steve the check mark here.
James does have an 8. Probably he's going to check his hand to see if he has an 8 or a club. Check, check. 9 is good. Ship it to Steve.
See, it's just so much noise in the room. What's going on? It's high hand time, man.
Yeah, it's high hand time. We got a monster stack going in the back of the room. We got plenty of cash games out there. It's always busy at Best Bet Jacks. Trust me, we got all the tournaments. We got all the good high hands. We got all the good pick games. You name it, we got it.
Busy Sunday night out there. Best Bet Jacksonville. Down to the final 8 in the 360 monster. Let's go, 10K up top.
Yeah, a lot of the players that played the 560 this weekend tried to find some redemption in that tournament. And I saw the field when I was walking out. Looked like a lot of the players that might have busted out of the 560 trying to reclaim some of that tournament glory that maybe they couldn't find in the 560, but could find in the 360. So, not to mention with the $100 bounties, you could potentially find a way to free roll that tournament if you knock out enough people.
All you need is 3.
That's all you need.
3.5.
So, heads up action, James versus Dennis. Damn. So, I mean, here four-handed, this is a pretty monstrous flop for both players. James has the entire board cover here, king high flush draw and top pair. Wow. Daniel's open-ended.
And these guys are really close in chips. James has a little bit more, but these guys are pretty
Nine
close
of clubs.
in chips. Wow.
It was
It's
a
going
9.
in. It's going in.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's going in.
Dennis is never folding. Or excuse me, I don't know. Dennis isn't involved in the hand. James is never folding. Daniel can't. You never improve and fold, especially to, well, the nuts. Dangerous, wet board, but as it stands, you have the nuts. There will be no folding, maybe a call, more than likely a raise. Daniel, tell him what you have. Ooh, just a call. So I guess maybe a call was the right way to go. No raise, no raise. And that's the most brick card of it all. Daniel now solidifies the nuts, gives himself the check mark. He doesn't need a graphic to give it to him. And there's James doing that bluff thing he loves to do, I guess, here with all the chips. But he's going to ship some over to Daniel here because Daniel, obviously with the nuts, is going to have to find a raise. The question is, how big do you want to make it?
James bets 500 into 1.5. There it goes. Just a little bit bigger than a men click.
Oh, and here goes James in the tank. Like, what could you have? Both flush draws brick out. There's only one combination of straight on the board. That's Jack 10. Once again, you're four-handed. Four-handed.
James could give him some other flush draws and think that his king is good.
James does not have a resounding chip lead anymore. I want to say maybe a little under 40% of his stack is in the middle of that pot.
Wow. Daniel just with the stone cold nuts right now.
Daniel, I believe, might take the chip lead if James calls. He did. 3.9 million in the middle is all being shipped to Daniel. Nice, calm, cool, and collected there with the nuts. Is going to get paid off. James is going to take a blow in chips. He's now down to 2 million. At one point, he was almost at 6 million. So I guess that aggressive ICM behavior only got him punished. Daniel's going to chip up big. Dennis, well, look at those New Balances. Those have plenty of blood, sweat, and tears of players who've tried to get them, and they've all been unsuccessful.
No, they don't. They're crispy, clean, white. They don't have anything on them.
And then the camera angle just shows them off.
They don't have anything on them. They don't have a spot on them.
Dennis is just so patient. Look at him, just like do. I have close to 4 million in chips. Like, let's go ahead and relax.
Breadstick Olive Garden says, nice call on the turn from Daniel with the stones.
Breadstick Olive Garden, nice handle, buddy. Very
yeah, I
nice
like
handle.
it. Let James, it's a double flush board, you know.
And look at James eyeing all those chips that Daniel just took from him.
Fired up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely fired up. Daniel now is going to take, I believe, the chip lead there with 5 million, just to north of 5 million in chips. He's going to go ahead and get out of there. All right, so Jacob's going to go ahead and shuffle up there, get into the next hand. Remember, blinds can't go down. They can only go up. So James, if he might have been comfortable or might have thought, hey, you know, I might be able to lose a hand or two more, but I can still stick to the game plan. Now you can't. Now you got to realize I don't have as much as I used to, so I might want to deviate just a little bit.
King, queen off for Steve.
That's aces, four-handed.
Little blind versus blind action. Going to try to steal it from Mr. Dennis.
Wrong number.
Nothing wrong with that.
Did that last time. Same number like that.
Looks like this one's going to work.
I get confused on the numbers.
Dennis said he got confused.
Mr. Dennis has a hot garbage of a hand here.
I call him Dennis the Menace.
On his back.
Steve's going to pick up big blind Annie. Gets pushed over to him.
I just didn't believe you last time.
Button's going to move.
I do not want to shoot it. Way better than your hand, though.
James is going to be in the big blind this hand with the big blind Annie.
Ahead.
It's getting expensive to play.
It's getting really expensive.
Getting tough.
You're 80, Dennis.
Yeah, getting expensive to play.
Yeah, there's a little mark on it.
James looks like he's disappointed with himself. I mean, to flop such a monstrous hand, get the showdown, you have top pair still, you feel like that might be good. Not only that, to watch probably about half of your stack go over to the guy that you're playing against, yeah, I'd be disappointed as hell too. James moves all in there with the king, queen offsuit. He's got enough. And that's a good enough holding there four-handed to get the money in, he thinks. Let's just do it.
I didn't have a good Obviously, I didn't have it. I did on a snap.
Yes, the chip leader only has about 30 bigs. I mean, the blinds are getting pretty expensive. That's the thing. Once blinds get that big, there's no time for waiting.
That's right.
Power and two between.
Vol Dog 69. Yeah, give me 1 second. We'll put the payouts in the chat. I think there's only 4 remaining, so should be nice and easy.
James picking up pocket tens here. Looks like Mr. Dennis going to open. James going to get his last 2.3 in the middle with pocket tens. Daniel with the old queen tray off in the small, going to muck. Steve going to muck the jack 7 suited.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to get out of there.
Mr. Dennis with ace tray of hearts.
The man is patient. The man is patient. He'll get away. He'll find a way to get away.
There's $3 million in the middle, and it's almost $2 million for him to call. Mr. Dennis doesn't look like he likes it, but he also knows that James could just be doing this as a squeeze. Trying to pick up some of that dead money out there. Mr. Dennis does fold. James picks up some chips back in the game.
show me the 160 twice.
160, 160K big blinds.
All in.
Oh, James getting it all in with the ace-4 offsuit.
Well, that's not smart.
UTG.
That's not smart.
Whoa, Daniel right behind him with 2 queens.
Oh, let's go
Snap
heads up.
calls.
Yeah, let's go heads up. They're both out of there. James, don't know if that was the time to do that for $3 million in chips. I understand that that's not too many big blinds when you put it into perspective, but still, ace-4 offsuit, I think I might have found a slightly better holding to get all my chips in. But, hey, we're here. He's made his decision. Jacob has given him the all-in card.
He got it in with the guy that covers him, too. That's the sick part.
I think James might get smoked here. Oh, he flopped an ace, but Daniel flopped a set.
Oh, wow.
1 ace in the deck, and it is over. James, just our chip leader about 45 minutes ago, is not going to get sent home packing, but he is going to take home a nice prize. I believe he'll go home in 4th place. I think that's somewhere around 20 to 25K.
Good game, James.
Not too bad of a hand there from Daniel. That was sweet, sweet music to his ears. Oh, he's all in? All right, well, I'm all in. I think James realized when he reshoved that he was up against something better than what he had. 1 ace in the deck, sorry. Yeah, just a verbal misclick. I have those. Sometimes I have to check my wiring to make sure it's right.
160 to go.
Me too, Mark. When I saw the ace, I was like, oh, boy. So it looks like James is going to, I guess, get a significant double up through Daniel. And then I saw the queen to go with it, and I'm like,
Wow, it's a wrap for James Brown. Nice 3rd place finish. Going to pick up about 23.5. Not a bad day. He dinked that queen. He did. He dinked it.
He sure did.
He dinked it right on the flop.
Dink, dink. We're 3-handed now. Not too bad.
80 here, 160 over.
Daniel picking up the King 10 offsuit. Blind versus blind crime. 10-6 suited for Steve. He might defend an open against an open here with Daniel. Steve is going to make the call with the 10-6 suited out of the big.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I love these odds in the chat that everyone's getting. Daniel is in the lead on the flop with the King 10 offsuit, but Steve has a little bit of equity. He's got live 6s and live 8s. Oh, gets there right on the turn. Now he's got a pair and a flush draw.
Pair of flush draw and a gutter.
Dan's going to slow down. I'm sorry, not a flush draw, a pair and a straight draw. Dan's going to slow down and click it over to him. Steve might try to take it away here on the turn.
$200 there from Steve.
Jax Mike says James is an excellent pool player. He's a real life friend. I believe that. I like James. I don't have anything bad to say about James.
Yeah, Daniel has a ton of chips, almost 8 million.
All right, guys, it is a break. If you have great chips, please push them forward. We are going to be racing those off. Dennis, you got the easy job.
I got the moment in your back.
That's what we're going to do.
If you and I take either one of each other out, then it can be a race. But if he takes one of us out, it's going to be a long road.
We're not going out.
Be a long road if one of us, he takes one of us out.
So the players will probably take like a 10-minute break, and then I guess we'll go ahead and be back. Fourth place was James, so it's no longer we don't need to determine who will get fourth place. It has been determined. James is going to take home fourth place money right now. As it stands, Steve, Dennis, and Daniel are still in. Daniel with the big stack and a large portion of chips in play. So they'll take about a 10-minute break, and then we'll be right back. Everybody keep it locked right here.
Over here feels like eternity right now. What? 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 You know, I don't need your pity support. You're right.
but if I'm only gonna get 5 or 6 more, I'd rather take my chances and jam and have a chance to win 60. I mean, for 5 or 6 it ain't worth it to me. If I get 10, I'm fine with it, but, you know. Hey,
Well, then if you 31, if you take 40, that's not bad.
41 is what I take.
All right, guys. So it looks like these guys are making their way back to the table. Seems to be some conversation about maybe chopping it up. We're going to tune in and see what these guys are. Oh, nope. Back in the action. All right, let's go.
I wasn't
No,
expecting.
I'm not being, I'm not trying to be a dick.
I wasn't expecting to chop anyway because this guy said no.
No, I understand.
All right, looks like we're at 1-2 with a 200K big blind ante. Stacks are getting short. Time to make some moves. Unless you're Daniel. Daniel's got over 8.2 million. Steve looking down at ace 10 offsuit. Got about 15 bigs, a little over 16 bigs, something like that. Looks like Daniel just limps the queen deuce suited. Steve looking like he wants to make a move here. He is going to put in a little raise. And Daniel with the snap fold. Steve's going to get his blind, his ante, and Daniel's small blind all back in his stack.
200 now?
Yes, sir. 200 twice.
All right, so now Mr. Dennis there going to be on the hook for 400K. Wow, it's 500K an orbit, and they're three-handed. Those blinds are going to fly around the table.
Right. We had a
500K in orbit,
with me earlier,
and they're three-handed. So every three hands are going to put in 500K. That's so sick.
I leave very rare, but
That's what I'm saying.
yep, I understand.
Daniel looking down at the 7-5 off on the button in the muck. Steve's going to look down at pocket trays from the small. Oh, Mr. Dennis has ace king off. Wow. Steve going to raise. Mr. Dennis going to rip. Oh, wow. Did Steve call? I think Steve snap called there. Wow. Pair versus Big Slick.
If I get a hand, I was going with it.
Yeah, Mr. Dennis kind of short there. Got about 12 bigs. Getting it all in. Going to race against the pocket trays and outflops him. Steve's going to need a 3 or a 4. Can't do it. Mr. Dennis makes the full house. Ace is full. Mr. Dennis is going to get the full double up through Mr. Steve plus 2.45 million. Mr. Dennis going to have over 5 million in chips. Big blow to Steve's stack. AJ Trigger in the chat. What's up? I didn't even see you there. What's up, my man? Hope everything's good. Long time no see. We are down to the final 5 in the 360 with $100 bounties. Okay.
I meant 600, but obviously, verbal is binding.
I guess we're getting it all in again. Mr. Dennis going to get 5 million in the middle with Queen Jack suited. Gets up, gets through the blinds from Daniel, picks it up.
Yeah, verbal's binding. No, I know that. I'm not even gonna ask.
Like we said, guys, it's 500K in orbit.
Too late for me.
Blind's getting steep.
Past my bedtime.
Oh, Dennis says it's past his bedtime, so he's got to just get the chips in.
Just going to start ripping it.
Guess so.
I like it.
Rather embarrassing. Okay.
You're allowed to have that moment.
We got another all-in, this time from Steve, getting his last, wow, Steve's only got about 6.5 bigs. Going to get all in with Queen, Jack offsuit. Looks like Mr. Dennis is going to make the call here with pocket fours. All in, 2.9 in the middle. Let's run it, about 14 big blinds in the middle. This gets Steve back in the game. Flops an open ender. 9, Queen, Jack, or Ace. All good cards for Steve. Yeah, gets there. Makes a queen on the river. Hard to miss. Had half the deck. Basically any card higher than an 8. Any card higher than an 8 gets Steve there. So exactly half the deck on the flop. Pretty good flop for Steve. Tony said this will be a good night's sleep for all 3 remaining. That's true, man. That's true. Next player out's going to take home $30K. I don't think anybody would be too mad at that. I'll drop the payouts for you guys here in a minute. There you go, guys. See the payouts for the next 3 spots. Looking pretty good. Next player out's going to take home $31,000. Pretty sick between 2 spots. Between first and second place, over $100K up for grabs for a $500 buy-in tournament.
Ton of money. And Daniel's here open-ended. Daniel's going to go ahead and bet. Dennis cannot call. He's going to take somewhat of a blow to his stack. Still has that big stack of Don Johnsons, though.
That's what's up.
Who is still in the 360? Charlie's still running? I'm not sure.
I think Charlie's still in.
Charlie's still in?
I'm not sure. I know he was in. I know he made the final table with 8 left, and now we're down to 5. So I'm not sure if he's still in. So 7-4 for Dennis in the small blind. Steve on the button with Queen 9 off, 3-handed. Feels like a pretty strong hand. Stephen V in the YouTube chat. That's a YouTube setting. You can change that if you hit the cog. I think there's a way to fix it in there. We get that a lot, and it's usually a setting on the user's end. Play around with that. See if you can figure it out.
Oh, here's Steve with Queen 9. It's a pretty good holding. 3-handed. You just. Jesus.
Steve makes it $700K.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Daniel's got the ace, queen. Very fast with the raise. Got Steve almost drawing dead. Steve's drawn to a couple 9s. That's it.
He made it big.
Man, Daniel put it in there fast. Made it $2 million. 2.1 million? 2.3 million. Wow.
You know what's crazy is that Steve is going to be the big blind next hand. So he'd have to surrender this and then put in 400K.
Ouch. It's like getting dinged twice.
Yeah, you're effectively going to lose 1.1 million in 2 hands, whether you like it or not.
Steve in a weird spot. The chip leader could double him up, not blink an eye. Oh, wow, Steve makes the call here with the Queen 9 offsuit. Oh, drawing super thin. Got to hit the 3 outer. Oh, man, got to bink the 3 outer for Steve. Can't do it on the flop. He could catch some eights for some equity, some eights, some tens. Oh, there we go. Got an open ender now. Now a 5, a 10, or a 9. Gets Steve there. Oh, the board pairs. Looks like ace high. Going to take it down. Steve's going to finish in third place for a $31,000 payday. Shout out to my man, Steve. I'll see you at Orange Park, buddy. I'll see you in the 2-5 streets. If you don't big time me now, if you're not going to big time me now that you're a tournament champion.
You know what I'm saying?
He might try to big time me and just only play 5-5 or 5-10.
I mean, he's gonna collect. He's gonna collect what? 31K.
31K.
It's not bad.
Easy day.
It's not bad at all.
Steve, don't big time me when I see you.
He's like, yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and start that 5-5 game over there.
2-5 is just a little small for me. Bud says if you're going to call off with queen 9 off, just jam pre-flop. Yeah, he kind of painted himself into a corner with that one. Kind of a weird spot.
I think it's a 5 because I want to have a nice picture, so I don't want to play.
Now, see what I was talking about, on the other hand, if I happen to get lucky enough to take the amount that first time, then I'm behind you, but not by that far, and I've already got the 42,000.
All right, looks like we're going heads up. We're going to reposition these two guys. Get ready to play. We got $100K to chop up between these two. $100,000. Chop it up.
And they thought Dennis couldn't last. They thought he didn't have the chops for it.
Mr. Dennis plays a lot of tournaments. He plays the deep stack every Friday. He plays a lot, man.
I mean, Daniel is an understatement. Has a lot of chips. He has a lot of chips. Work. Yeah, I guess. So far, his play is he is playing unexploitable poker. He was at my table earlier. I mean, it's kind of hard for Daniel to lose this. I think if Daniel loses this, like, I don't know. I'd be stunned. To be honest, I'd be stunned. Nothing to Dennis, but hey, that guy has at least 70 to 80% of the chips in play. It's going to be hard for him to give anything away.
The button's good there, Johnny. I'll do it. Button's good. Small blind, big blind here. You guys are two twice. Hi, Steve.
What was the total number of entries? Oh, Dylan, our giveaway winner. Hey, man, how you doing? Giveaway. Now you got giveaways on my mind. The total number of entries in the tournament was 740 players. 740. Ace on the turn is going to give Daniel a flush draw. Daniel has 11 million in chips. It's going to be hard for him to lose this one. It's going to be pretty hard. He's only chipping up. He's going to be close to 12 million now.
I'm not going to try to nickel dime my way back into this.
All right, so we got Jack 9 here from Dennis. He opens to 600,000 and is going to flop here and open ender. Well, I guess Daniel is. And Daniel's just going to put the money in. Yep. Daniel here looks unfazed, bored at that. I mean, I guess when you have so many chips, you can't be worried about too much of anything. You got all the power, you got all the position, you got all the chips. There's really nothing that could go wrong. But, hey, the commentator's curse does exist. I mean, it's just going to be really hard for Daniel to mess this one up. Yep, and Dennis is all in. Dennis is just going to go ahead and find the all-in button there. Real late in the tournament, heads up. Got to get the money in.
What's your first name?
Daniel.
Dennis. Where are you from, you said?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I was calling that one.
Huh?
I was calling that one.
I had 3, 4. No, thank you.
Dennis says,
I ain't gonna wait
3,
for
4, no
four.
thank you. We're pulling for Dennis. We can only hope. We can only hope. All right, so we see a check there from Dennis with his option. Daniel's going to flop an open ender. There goes a bet there from Daniel with his open ender. Dennis just cannot find himself making a hand one bit. Yeah. Got to apply that pressure, 100%. All in. Dennis is going to call. Dennis says, forget it. Daniel's definitely not folding a pair here. Heads up. Uh-oh, and Dennis says that's not a good card for him because one of those available fours that Daniel might be looking for, Dennis has, but he does have an over. Dennis needs to hit a 6 or some diamonds or maybe a straight. That's not a good flop. Oh, my God. But Dennis's 6 is – oh, wow. So on the turn, Daniel's 2 pair was counterfeit. Dennis could have won. And then the other ace is going to put a full house on the board. A little anticlimactic, if you ask me. Definitely thought Dennis might have scooped that pot, and now it's a chop. Wow. Talk about a sweat if you're Dennis.
I called for the ace and it came. I said, all right.
The perfect ace, too.
Yeah. I know. I said, wow. 6 plays. And the last
Button clicker.
Yeah, that's what I was counting on.
Yeah, right. I know.
All in for a second.
What's that?
Your card, sorry, the card over the square.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I can't do it with this one. There's many cards I wouldn't do it with.
Let's go, Dennis. Get yourself some Jordans after this. If he can lock up first place money after this overwhelming chip lead from Daniel, I'd buy him a pair of Jordans. Guess we're going to have to wait and see. The sweat is on.
Players all in.
Dennis is all in and now, and Daniel will make the call. So we're going to be back heads up. Well, not heads up, but rather all in heads up. This, obviously, for Dennis's tournament life. He's going to need to find a king or a jack. Let's go, Dennis. 5 for Daniel. Oh, Dennis is drawing to a queen and only a queen, and he cannot get there. Ship it to Daniel. He is going to be our Event 1 560 No Limit Hold'em tournament champion, or rather event champion. He will take home the lion's share of the payout. $62,223 is going directly to Daniel. But fret not, Dennis. You're going to take home $31,000. So, hey, you can't feel too bad about that. Those two outlasted 740 other players and 6 players on this final table. And they're both going to be taking home some good money. So, hey, this is going to do it for our final table. We appreciate all of you for hanging out with us, having a good time, analyzing some play and some hands. But we've each reached the end of our stream. Catch us back next Friday. We will have a game scheduled for you guys. The time for that game will be around 6 o'clock. Thank you to all of you for joining us. This is Best Bet Live. My name's Adonis Lane. You guys have a great night.